Welcome to Judge Me Not, a safe place to have real conversations with real ass people. Hey y'all, hey, welcome to another episode of the Judge Me Not podcast. I am your pretty cool host, NVD, at least I think so myself. You know the deal. Same intro, different week. What the fuck is up? How's life? Who's been checking up on you? Be mindful of that and move accordingly. You know my motto. Life can't be that bad if you got time for a podcast. And if you got time for a podcast, then baby, life just ain't that bad. What the fuck is up? So look, I really ain't been inconsistent this time. It ain't been just a lack of not doing it. I've been recording, but I've been sick and non-sick because I've been outside and inside, and the weather been hot and the weather been cold. My sinuses been cutting up so bad. I sounded like an adolescent boy. I recorded it and I was actually going to post it until I let somebody listen to it and they said absolutely not. Nobody's going to be able to understand what the fuck it is that you are saying. So it is what it is. I'm here. What's up? Let's tap in. So this week, we talking about a win is a win. Self-kindness and understanding there is strength in giving yourself grace because, baby, sometimes we just got to understand a win is a win and we need to stop comparing our wins to other people. So I had jotted down notes for this particular topic a while back because most of the time these are journals, prompts that I'm writing to myself, or I'm reading something and I'm highlighting a quote or something from a book, or when I go to therapy, this bitch say something and I'm like, okay, let me talk about that, right? Because y'all know I just run my mouth. That's what I do. Anyways, it came up twice. So I'm like, okay, this is a good topic and I'm going to listen to my discernment and I'm going to talk about this topic. So I did yoga last week and the yoga instructor was saying enough is a choice and the choice is only up to you, which really like blew my mind because as you do in yoga, you know, it's easy to get caught up or embarrassed because you're watching everybody else that's around you and someone may be a little bit more flexible than you. Somebody may not need support and you do. So we often find ourselves overextending our point of enough, which can cause more harm than it is to be helpful, when the practice of yoga is to take it step by step and notice that you're becoming more flexible, notice that your breath is becoming more relaxed, noticing that your strength is becoming more stronger each session. And that's that intimate relationship with yourself of knowing when enough is enough, because a lot of times we get caught up again, comparing ourselves to other people and overexerting ourselves to match our enough with theirs. And we end up hurting ourselves. And now we can't practice at all because we didn't know when enough was enough, right? So we basically, I mean, let's just be honest. I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like most people who actually listen to my motherfucking podcast or interact with me on all my social medias, if you not following me, it's the same name everywhere. NVDENVIIDEE. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Find your girl. Chop it up with me. Now don't come find me if you're looking for a altercation or you want to debate about my personal beliefs, because that's not what I'm going to do. Do that with your mama or somebody who care. I don't. But anywho, I feel like most people that rock with me and understand my warped perspective agree when I say most of us was raised to believe that strength means pushing through bullshit, handling business, never showing weakness, and just constantly being on go. Like, that's what a lot of us was raised, especially if you were a man or a black man particularly. Crying as a child, shut that shit up. Suck that up. Boys don't cry, things like that. Like, early on, you are taught to and nip weakness, just period. And being strong means just enduring everything that comes your way, and you just got to keep on moving. And I feel like that's the unrealistic expectation for a lot of black people, especially if you're trying to succeed. You already have the understanding that you have to do above and beyond the average person, especially a person of non-minority, because you got to work twice as hard just to get recognition. So again, we have this idea of strength means overcoming all the bullshit that is coming our way. So much so that we keep on going and not understanding that we are burnt the fuck out. And a lot of times when we feel like we're on this treadmill and we giving 100% and we doing the work, but it just seems like we're not seeing the progress of the amount of work and effort we're doing, baby, that's because you burnt out. And you doing too much, but what you doing ain't enough. You get what I'm saying? But the reality is there is strength in knowing that you need to sit your motherfucking ass down. There is strength in knowing if I jump into this situation, if I jump into this obligation, if I take on this responsibility before I am equipped to handle it, I'm going to fuck up this blessing. I ain't ready yet. Let me sit my ass down, mature, get my finances in order, get my mental right, get my physical right, get my emotions right, whatever it may be, whatever season that you is, let me give myself grace and understand that I'm not ready just yet. And I don't want to block my blessing. And I know I'm a strong motherfucker, but I know I'm not ready for that. You get what I'm saying? Because so I said it came up once with my yoga instructor, and he was saying enough is a choice, and it's only up to you to make that choice of when enough is enough for you. So I also went to my therapist. My birthday was Monday. A bitch is 35, and I normally get depressed when it's around my birthday because the reality of how much I have to take care of by myself sinks in, and then I beat myself up because I wish I would be further in life than what I am, and I know that is because of the fucked up choices that I made and the fucked up situations that I put myself in, right? So I beat myself up. But every year my therapist reminds me that a win is a fucking win. And instead of beating myself up and saying, oh, woe is me, I would be here had I not did that, the past is the past. And we have to understand to give ourselves grace and say, okay, I may have made some bad choices, but you also have to take into consideration of your circumstances that led you to make those choices. For me, it was a lack of guidance. For me, it was a lack of parental feedback. For me, it was acting out in hopes that some adult would say, wait a minute, I care for you too much that I don't want you to make bad decisions that would affect your future. So I'm going to tell you to do the right thing, and I'm going to protect you from making these bad choices. That never happened. So that means I made all these fucked up choices trying to be saved, and nobody came and saved me. So not only did I make up these fucked up choices, I had to figure out a way how to not let these choices break me, but to overcome them and succeed. So my therapist always says, okay, yeah, you may not be here, but you are what? And then I have to acknowledge all of my accomplishments. And then she say, okay, and you achieved this, this, and this, but you also went through what? And in that moment, she forces me to stop worrying about my past and the negative impact that my past has on my present and where I feel like my future should go, but rather stop and acknowledge how far I've come. It's a big difference. And it's really just a shift of your perspective and speaking life into yourself instead of being your own worst enemy, which again, that comes from this warped mentality that our culture has of being strong means just dealing with shit, suck it up, and keep going. Sometimes you got to give yourself grace, right? So another way that I can break that down is if your partner came to you, your best friend, maybe your child, maybe your partner, and they going through some really, really, really tough shit. They going through some fucked up shit. They're going through a circumstance that is life altering and they're concerned. They come to you. Now you're going to tell them just suck this shit up You got it. Don't worry about it. We don't even need to discuss it. Move on. Are you gonna tell? I mean, there are some people who are dicks that would just say that, but I hope I don't attract those type of people to listen to anything that I'm doing. Or are you going to speak life and encouragement and remind them of their strength and remind them of all the obstacles that they've already overcame and succeeded, and you speak life and positivity into that person? I bet you gonna do the latter, because majority of the time when people come to us for courage, encouragement, word of advice, comfort, or just to lend an ear, that's because we already have positive energy. That's because we're a reliable person to do those things too. So we have to be comfortable to speak in that same positive energy into our motherfucking selves. When you feel like I can't do this, I pause, switch that light on, and say, no, bitch. You can do this. You may not be ready to do it now. You may not have the tools or the knowledge to do it now. Hell, you may even have failed at your first fucking attempt. But don't let failure discourage you. And that's something I am confident in now, as making several fucking mistakes and failures. Don't let failure discourage you. And definitely don't let a motherfucker who ain't never did nothing talk you out of trying again because you failed the first time. We not doing that this year. We not doing it next year. We just not gonna do that at all when it comes to us meeting the fucking goals that we setting for ourselves. Instead of doing that, you look at it as a ladder. Okay, I may have fucked up. I may have failed. I may have jumped in something prematurely, whether it's a relationship, entrepreneurship, a new car, some type of financial obligation, and it didn't work out. Okay, life happens. However, give yourself grace to acknowledge your mistake, get yourself together, collect the tools, the knowledge, the resources that you need to do that motherfucking situation again, because now you have the blueprint of how to not to do that shit. It's all about shifting that perspective, but also giving yourself that grace, right? So we're gonna break down how to be kind to yourself, which doesn't mean let me hold on. Me saying give yourself grace and knowing when to sit the fuck down and gather your resources and regroup and refresh and get the rest and heal and do these things before you move forward is not a motherfucking excuse to be lazy and just be mediocre and just be stagnant in where the fuck you are. So please do not use that or use me or use this podcast as a sign that you have done enough and you need to just chill. Absolutely the fuck not. And if you are those person that's okay with being mediocre, then baby, that's okay for you. And I want better for you. And I hope that one day you aspire to want just a little bit more, to test yourself just a little bit to see what you are capable of, right? So we're not talking about making excuses, being mediocre, being lazy. That's not what we're going to do. What we are talking about is recognizing that we are motherfucking humans, recognizing that we are able to make mistakes. We are able to not always be motherfucking Superman and take on everything for everybody, every negative situation that people throw at us. They bullshit, our kids bullshit, our spouse bullshit, the job bullshit, the economy, and just still be powering the fuck on. Absolutely the fuck not, because you're gonna break. And a lot of times we make fucked up situations by reacting on hoarded emotions. A lot of motherfuckers cheat because they not communicating effectively, or they don't feel heard. And instead of trying to acknowledge that they don't feel heard or expressing their feelings, they go do something momentarily that's going to make them feel appreciated, seen, heard, value, and fuck up a good thing for momentarily pleasure. Or you have a good job that you prayed for and then you get the blessings, but yet you're not equipped to deal with the stress or the responsibility that comes from it. But instead of doing the work and taking extra classes, or maybe learning how to cope with pressure, or speaking to your mentors or to your boss, or networking with the people on your team to learn new tips, you spaz. Now you just got a fucked up attitude, and now you coming in work late. Everybody pissing you off. You just fucked up about it. So you forget that I once prayed for this job and I got this job, and now I'm about to drop the motherfucking blessing because I'm not doing the work to value what the fuck I have. So I'm acting off of impulse, and then I make a bad fucked up situation. So we have to recognize that we are human and it is okay to give ourselves grace and that we do have limits. Just like we give each other or our friends and our family the same love and support, we have to do that to ourselves. We have to really stop over criticizing ourselves and get rid of this idea of perfection, or get rid of this idea that I have to be non-motherfucking stop to make shit shake. Because nigga, if you fuck around and make some shit shake, and again, you not ready for that shit that you made shake, you gonna fuck up an opportunity. And as you get older, you realize you don't have time to keep on fucking up opportunities. So you need to really move with intention. And once you start moving with intention, at least for myself, once I really started moving with intention, who I fuck with, who I hang around with, where I put myself at, what my work schedule look like, what my kids' schedule look like, what am I talking about, what am I reading, what am I putting in my body. Once I get intentional with every motherfucking thing, then it's a balance. And then it's a routine. And then there's discipline because I got to stick to this balance and I got to stick to this routine. And so I'm more self-aware and I'm acknowledging how I feel, what I like, what I don't like. It's enough. I'm tired. My body is speaking to me. But I'm more aware that I know my body is speaking with me. I know what my triggers are. I'm not going to fuck with that person because it's going to make me do this. You got to really figure out yourself. And it goes back to, you know, when enough is enough, and it's only up to you. Your partner can't tell you when enough is enough. Your kids can't tell you when enough is enough. Your parents can't tell you when enough is enough. And trying to please other people comes from this idea of this perfection, or have this unrealistic expectation based on what other motherfuckers think you should do versus what you know you're capable of doing or what you're ready to fucking do. Don't put yourself in a pickle trying to please everybody else. That's what we're not going to do. Right? So, here's some motherfucking practical ways in my therapist, or from reading, or from doing fucking yoga that I have learned over my healing journey that I feel like everybody should implement in some type of way to really shift their perspective of self and really learn how to give ourselves grace. And when I say learn how to give yourself grace, I'm talking about my hyper independent motherfuckers. I'm talking about my loners. I'm talking about the people who really don't have that safety net. And even if they do have people to look out for them or help them, they so used to going to life alone that they will struggle by them motherfucking selves and grit and bear it and never ask for fucking help. It's a lot of people, including my motherfucking self. I'm not going to ask you for help because I feel like if you see what I'm going through, you should just offer, because that's the type of motherfucker I am. Say, you good? You need anything? And 9 times out of 10, even if you offer it, I'm probably not going to accept it. But it's the thought that count. You get what I'm saying? So first thing, like I said, we're going to do the self-talk. It is important to train that inner voice to get rid of that negativity and not be your worst enemy, but be your number one fucking supporter. Because at the end of the fucking day, it's just you with you. You just doing you versus you. Every day you trying to become a better motherfucking person for yourself. Because if you become a better person for yourself, naturally everybody else that's attached to you or depends on you is going to be positively impacted, and vice versa. If you constantly overworking yourself, tearing yourself down, pulling yourself thin, poking holes in the cup that you know you got to pour out of, you're going to negatively impact the motherfuckers around you. Right? So like my therapist say, instead of saying, I should have done, I should be here, say, I had to overcome this in order to get where I am. And believe it or not, I prayed to be exactly where I am, so I am thankful. And I'm going to give myself grace because I had to endure a lot of things that most people didn't, and I've still accomplished a lot of shit. Even though life threw me trials and errors. You get what I'm saying? And then as you do that, It makes you look back on how far you come. And once you really give yourself that pep talk and start saying, bitch, I overcame this. I tried to do God blessed me with this, and I was praying for something small like this. The enemy tried to take me out, and bitch, I not only overcame, but I succeeded. Once you really acknowledge all the fucked up shit that you have to overcome, and you realize that you not only you still standing, but you prospering on your own level of success, baby, you be like, I am that nigga. I am her. I am that bitch. And whatever the fuck life throw at me, I know I'm going to succeed. So it ain't even no reason for me to be in a rush. In a rush for what? What is meant for me is I'm going to have. Right? So that's number one. We're going to shift our perspective of how we talk to ourselves and the energy that we pour into ourselves. So anytime that we talk negative to ourselves and we are being too hard on ourselves, you got to check yourself. Like if I was talking to a motherfucker that was coming to me to vent, would I say these same things to this person? No. So why am I speaking so harsh to myself? Right? Give yourself permission to rest. I don't know who got this idea of you got to grind 24/7 and you got to just go, 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 fuck sleep. If you listen to any TED Talk, if you listen to any successful person, if you read any autobiography, at absolutely no point do you hear them have that theory of it was a go, 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 go. What you will hear is routine. Routine. You got to figure out what routine works for you, and it is the most beneficial for where the fuck you trying to go. Not only where the fuck you trying to go, but what you currently are at in life and your obligations. And as your current life shift, then your routine has to shift in order for you to succeed with your progression. That's all I'm saying. Because guess what? Burnout is motherfucking real. And as I said, we make fucked up situations because we are hoarding emotions or we are overexerting ourselves. We're accepting too many responsibilities for motherfuckers who wouldn't accept responsibilities for us. Then we looked up, we burnt out, we stressed, we depressed, we got anxiety, we just feeling some type of fucking way. So we looking for a fucking void, whether it's drugs, alcohol, sex, a fucked up trauma bond, going out, overspending, whatever the fuck your vice may be. We run to these voids when we are not addressing the inner issue, when 9 times out of 10 it's because we doing too much. We doing too motherfucking much, and we need to rest, reset, realign, and get back in tune with ourselves, our goal, where the fuck we came from, where the fuck we trying to go. You get what I'm saying? Set motherfucking boundaries. Again, enough is a choice that only you are responsible for. You have to be okay with saying no. You have to be okay with not explaining yourself on why you not going to come, why you can't do it, why you don't want to talk today, why your phone being on do not disturb, why you're not breaking from your new schedule to accommodate somebody else's shit. You have to be okay with setting boundaries for yourself in order to not only protect your peace, but to protect your progress. Because it's a lot of motherfuckers. Some of them don't do it purposely. But some of these motherfuckers will. They will assert themselves in your life to distract you from moving forward because misery like motherfucking company. And if you constantly moving forward and they staying stagnant, then that's going to be a harsh reality that they not really on their shit. Because damn. You constantly making steps forward and doing new shit and doing different shit. And here I am way back here. Something ain't happening. So what I'm going to do? Say, bro, come out. Say, bro, come over here. Let's chill. Say, bro, I got these hoes. Say, bro, I got this gas. Say, bro, I got a section. Oh, come over here, lay up with me. Oh, can I come over? And how you know these people in your life, and sometimes it might even be your fucking family. Once you start talking about new shit that you want to do, new ideas that you want to invest in, maybe you want to go back to school, maybe you want to start working out, maybe you want to start fasting, maybe you want to start reading. Once you start vocalizing new shit that you want to implement for your self-improvement, and the first motherfucker who laugh or who try to talk you out of it, or who ain't just cheering you on, oop, watch them motherfuckers. Those are the ones you need to set boundaries on. And what we gonna do, we gonna start celebrating small wins. You got long-term goals, you got short-term goals. Some days, your goals are gonna fucking change. For me personally, I know I'm fucked up. I know I got a whole shitload of issues and trauma that I'm still trying to work with, and healing don't come over fucking night. You get what I'm saying? So some days, just me getting out of the bed, going to work, cleaning my ass, brushing my teeth, doing my hair, actually putting on clothes, and not cussing a motherfucker out is progress for me. And that's a win. Some days it's actually showing up and doing this motherfucking podcast is a win. I may not be perfect still. I may not be on this motherfucker every fucking week, but a win is a motherfucking win. And you gotta learn how to celebrate that shit. You really do. So let's talk about something that stops a lot of us from being kind to ourselves. Guilt. At least for me, it's guilt. It goes back to the fucked up choices I did make, the advice I didn't take, the opportunities I turned down, the opportunities I did take, but I knew I wasn't worth it, the people I attached myself, I knew who wasn't worthy of me, or even sometimes when I do take breaks. Me talking about giving yourself grace will be hypocritical if I don't acknowledge it. Sometimes when I do acknowledge that I'm burnt out, I'm not 100%, I feel guilty. Some days I'll be like, bitch, you know you should do that podcast. But see, my thing is anything I touch, I understand that it's energy transfer. So I don't want to do no podcast and I'm in a motherfucking funk and I got a bad attitude and I'm not able to give it with good energy in which I want it to be received. So I'm not going to force myself to get trash content, and not only trash content, but low vibrational energy. But then I feel bad because I'm like, you started it and you're not being consistent. Or some days physically with certain accidents and shit that had happened in the past, some days I can't go in the gym and kick ass and lift as heavy as I normally do. And I will feel bad. And that's why I'm very intentional in my trainers, because some trainers will try to overextend you and overexert you and make you ignore your body, and you fucked up and you be injured again. I had to learn that the hard way. So it's that guilt. You got to really release that guilt, set boundaries, become your best friend and not your enemy. Give yourself motherfucking permission to rest, and we're going to celebrate the small victories, because guess what? A win is a motherfucking win. And like I said, if you got motherfucking time for a podcast and bitch life ain't that bad, shift that perspective. If ain't nobody told you they proud of you, ho, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I don't know what the fuck you had to go through, but whatever you went through, you survived it, and you still thriving. And not only you thriving, you still giving an effort every day that you wake the fuck up, put your feet on the floor, and say, I got shit to do, so let me do that shit. But just remember, it is okay to give yourself grace, reset, relax, say no, and move on your own accord, because enough is a choice that is only up to us. That's it. That's all, y'all. Bye.